afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master. Off here to an exciting, riveting 1 vs 1 on Minsk Pocket. Yes, it's not Holotny Farmer. Outstanding. The setting is 1944. The Germans are desperately trying to establish a defensive line somewhere in the woods here on the Eastern Front. The 3rd Panzer Division is tasked here with the initial elements as infantry division being brought forth to deal with it and hold the line, maybe with a few Luftwaffe field divisions. With Guards National, aka GiaA, here, fighting for the Wehrmacht. The 3rd, in the south we got Heinous, fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism. Comrade Stalin, with Armoured Assault newly chosen here. The 7th Mechanized Corps ready to barge his way through and blast those fascists to hell. We got Mobile Defense, the Fortified Armor and Blitzkrieg here for Guards National with infantry, double anti-tank gun versus Armoured Assault, obviously with double infantry and a single unit bulletin here for Heinous. Sandbags being laid out at the very edge there, in fact slightly beyond this, it can't just grab the point while laying down the sandbags. In the west we got engineers moving up there for Heinous. In the east, constantly moving out there. Both players of course are high ranked, top 100 players. Guard National hasn't been around lately a lot I think, but he's still a pretty good player. Was also a veteran company as one player, in fact I believe one of the better ones there as well. 3rd conscript one there for Heinous, a heavy conscript build versus the Wehrmacht, much more typical, much more standard. If you use them correctly, you can put a lot of pressure on the Wehrmacht, particularly combined with Molotovs, you can put some real pressure on them. Guards National there with double gun of these, MD-42 moving west to centre, as Heinous is moving out for a more broader approach here. Final ground, the fuel point of course delayed there due to the sandbags slightly not quite landing where he wanted them to. Gun of these with the machine gun backing up, very good. Guards National leaving his fuel point in the centre there, a bit of undefended, but he's basically banking on it being able to put enough pressure using the gun at the MD-42 combo sort of compensate for that. Plus of course we move other troops down there to help screen the point. Engineers falling back there as Petrov there falls face over into the dirt, riddled with bullets from the Wehrmacht. In the east, constantly moving in there, so we can see that he's not going to push through the centre directly, possibly anticipating there might be something else guarding it, or even that it might just be a feint here with the machine gun that's actually going to move it back down there to anticipate a move forward. It could be a possible trap there from God as an astronaut, who knows. Either way though, Heinous is slightly shifting up there. He's not going to march into the machine gun there, though of course that's the thing about the machine. Could be threatening here, could be threatening here. That's the difference, you know, between a static machine gun and an active machine gun. An active machine gun can actually cover much more ground in theory, and that can make it much harder for the enemy player to actually move about safely. So good work there with God's and Astronaut. Again, very active machine gun play. Of course not blindly active, but just recklessly active, but you know, careful, cautious, measured, aggressive. Sandbags up here, Heinous being very consistent with that. We got Support Company up, he probably wants to bring out mortars and maxims to help deal here with the Guards and Astronauts players. And there you go, going to be surprising the conscripts. Firing out from the small ship, looks like Heinous is just not going to fight there. Or he's just going to try and sneak up behind here, then get up through the ends and in front of that door there where they can't fire back. Or he could just go straight for the fuel point there, flanking behind Guards and Astronauts front line. But you can see there, Heinous is all man sees most of the map here. For now, Support Company, we'll see if it becomes a mortar or a maxim. What exactly happens here? Gun is moving up. He's going to try and rush for the house here, and you can see there with the other gun he's got spotting it. Guards and Astronaut pops back in, but there's of course going to be the tiny detail. There's no windows there. Well, there's on the other side. We could actually probably try to stand around the flying longer, but decides not. We got more conscript there. Go. We got the infantry defending here, preventing the conscript being reinforced from the south. Very good move there by Guards and Astronaut. Less fortunate there for Heinous, and just falls back, which in this situation is probably the right decision rather than trying to commit more forces. He just pulls back, trying to avoid more manpower losses. Guards National with full gun it is, one MD-42, a bold move here, but in this case seems to be working out somewhat. Probably due to the slightly smaller size of the map here of Minsk Pocket, which makes it a bit hard just to easily flank with a lot of conscripts. Got the maxim falling up there for Heinous, falling back towards his fuel point to defend that, as Guards National is leading in quite aggressively there. Quite aggressively. Gun it is moving in, conscript flying back here, victoriously and viciously. Shots being fired back and forth there. Gun it is assaulting the conscript there. Shots landing, but not necessarily quite as effectively as they would want to. In the east here, gun it is hanging up behind the engineer squad there. Maxim is ready here now. Government on the gun it is quickly pushing them back there with heavy machine gun fire. Glorious water-cooled action. Gun is suppressed down to half health. Gun is moving westwards there. Machine gun in the west or east as well. Heading the other cuff point here. And probably will be able to cut it off. That pushes Heinous into a very awkward position. In a matter of minutes, he's gone from having most of the map to barely having any of it. Strong push there by Gods and Astronaut, very strong. And certainly heartless again what the Wehrmacht can do with a determined and skillful player. And certainly again highlights it's actually important to use your machine gun actively. So many Wehrmacht players just tend to play it very passively, and that tends to give your opponent an edge they do not need. They should not have. And see the Heinous is striking back though, leading a glorious counterattack there for the motherland. The Rodina, the 7th Mechanized Corps. Hoorah, comrades, push forwards. It's into the gulags with you, or worse. Worse? Yes, worse. What's worse? You don't want to know. Actually, I do. No, you don't, really, trust me. I can't sleep after I learned it. But there you go, push them through on the maximum, boom, hit very aggressively. With the max score, you can play more aggressively, it's more flexible, more mobile, and harder to kill. So, I mean, that regard, using the machine gun essentially like a suppressive infantry squad is usually not an incorrect move there. And he's going straight for the fuel pump because the Heinous is in one move. They're just switching the entire thing around here. Machine gun there slowly losing out to the conscripts there as well. More trap for Gods and Astronaut. There's a very heavy tier 1 and could very well be a tier 3 Vachi's planning. I mean, 4 Grenadiers, 1 M4, 2 and 1 mortars, an incredibly heavy tier 1 from a Wehrmacht player. We'll see how that works out. But there you go, fuel hit. Now you can see the map is swinging once more. And that's just, you know, within roughly 7 minutes, not even 7 minutes and punching. Again, the map is just, you know, swung back and forth very aggressively between these two highly skilled players. And certainly highlights again what can happen here. We got anti-tank grenades on the way. Heinous obviously worried about the Gods and Astronaut pushing out like vehicles against him. 2-2s. Flame for half is definitely the things to look out for. In particular, flame for half take very much part of the Wehrmacht meta game and can certainly overwhelm a Russian player if he's not careful. In particular, a Russian player who doesn't have any anti-tank weapons, or guardsmen even. So there we go, big light machine gun flank though here. Oh, we could see the maximum they're going down in a matter of moments. The mortar light machine gun combo there doing incredible amounts of damage. Going to try and grab that. There's always low on health there. The light machine guns are going to make short work of it. Grenadiers with light machine guns is only not something to scoff at either, and Heinous has lost his max and completely overwhelmed there in a matter of moments by a sharp counterattack here by Gods and Astronaut and the 3rd Panzer Grenadier Division. So quite unfortunate there for Heinous. Quite unfortunate. He should probably just try and take a hit as fast as possible versus Heinous or Gods and Astronaut and the 3rd Panzer Grenadiers. Now then units go on the way there, possibly for minesweepers, or possibly there's something else being planned here. But there you go, Pioneers from upground that makes some. Holy smokes! Heinz, I didn't know you could throw rations that far. Well, you know, I used to do athletics. Ooh. Those most Russian soldiers, it seems, undernourished. So tank command up there. Could theoretically go for a half track, so pop double flame for engineers in it. That's a nasty tactic, though not heavily utilised. It can be used. Gods and Astronaut pushing with the card points again. Comes to their low on health, need to fight back. Can't quite there. We'll probably have to retreat soon here. So once more, another aggressive swing here on the battlefield. Gonna do something worse. We'll see. We got the Conscript, almost got the northern victory point in the east. Gods and Astronaut aggressively advancing, Conscript up eastwards as well. Maximum now on the watch. Conscript just falling back, realising that's not going to work out too well there for Heinous. And the 10% command is almost done. Gods and Astronaut actually building the likes of Mechanized Company. I am a bit surprised at that. I would not say I'd figure him doing actually. There you go, Rifle Grenade off. Huge hit here. Too much going on there for Heinous, and even lost sight of there, I think, of what's going on. But he can, if he can get the fuel point connected again, he should be able to push out a T-70 pretty fast here versus Gods and Astronaut, who's only got his like Mechanized Company up now. Medic Bunker there to support the German infantrymen. Units moving up, Grenadiers moving up as well. There you go, fuel connected. It's not going to be far off from a T7, which point's going to put some serious pressure on their Gods and Astronaut. Comes they're taking that fire here from the mortar. They've got Nart in the Alpha. And then engineers swap in pursuit of the Grenadier. Constant units moving up here as well. Heinous once more on the offensive. He's got double flame for engines again. Theoretically, he could go for the half-tech stuff. Double flame for engines, and it can be really powerful. But of course, he might be worried about any light vehicles and things. In which case, he's more likely to go for the T-70 since the double flame for engineer half-tech is quite vulnerable to 222s. Gods and Astronaut, they're going for the Pack 40. The Panzer Kanone 40. Reconnecting points and pushing back hard as possible here versus Guardian Astronaut. We can very soon go for the T-70 light tank. Guardian Astronaut could basically go away, I think, with taking up now. Running ahead for the Panzers. But here we go. T-70, and he pops it as soon as he can. He orders it forwards to the front line. And there's the final way, constant moving up, doing some damage to the Grenadier. Mortar firing in here for Das Vaterland. Lobbing explosive rounds in the general direction of the Russians, hoping they perish. The South constant moving up, they're going to use T-70 almost down there for Heinous. Ready to strike hard here at Guardian Astronaut. Is somewhat prepared, though I don't think he's been laying down telemines, which is definitely a good sense of preparation. It could be he could end up going for mobile defensive or a Puma, just in case things go a bit awry. Skirmishing continues in the west, quite aggressive in the centre. Assaults are thwarted here by machine guns and Deutsche Grenadiere. But there you go. At this stage, I think he's just using the conscripts as bait for the Grenadiers as he moves in the T-70, basically trying to keep the Grenadiers as low health as possible. Just, stall and then try and get a wipe here with the T-70. Get a wipe here, that'd be pretty powerful. And he gets it. Big loss here for Guardian Astronaut. Grenadiers lost and the light machine gun. Plus, of course, all the experience gained. Quite a loss there, and of course, quite a win there for Heinous. Machine gun with Pioneers and Mortarbank. Now they're causing quite a bit of harm there in the east. Machine gun Grenadiers, Pack 40 days. Seemingly, he's trying, I think, to predict where Heinous is going to strike with his T-70 and set up the Pack 40 and anticipating that. Of course, that is a bit of a tricky thing. If he gets wrong, you can lose the Pack 40. At least end up having just wasted a lot of time. In this case, though, he made the right call against Heinous and forcing away the T-70 there. Very good call by Guardian Astronaut. Very good call, but certainly setting up a pack correctly, it can be quite a skill there versus an opponent who's quite good at using the T-70 light tank. You pretty much got to try and make a bit of a bet there. Is my opponent going to hit with the T-70 here, or is going to hit it with it there again? Incorrect, guys. Can it be quite painful? Now he's going to have to fix up the T-70. We got a field gun up. He's clearly going to worry about the Guardian Astronaut pulling out armor. We got there these next tier ready. In the west, we got a big push here with lots of Grenadiers from Guardian Astronaut. Well, all of his Grenadiers, really. And in the east, we got another push of the machine guns and Pioneers. The bold move here, attacking with two places, in particular the machine gun Pioneers, a bit more exposed. The flank, in fact, is quite vulnerable. If Heinous seizes upon that, he can actually do some heavy damage as a Guardian Astronaut. I mean, the T-70 flanking for example up here, maybe supported with some mines. They could actually clear up the machine gun, maybe in the Pioneers. At which point, Guardian Astronaut is going to be suffering quite a loss. But we can see that again, he's shifting the Pack 40 about there. You also have to be careful not to shift about too much, because if you're suddenly under attack, you could lose the pack as well that way. So it's a bit of a risky maneuver as well from Guardian Astronaut. But again, there's a lot of risk when it comes to packs versus T-70s, unless your opponent doesn't know how to handle his T-70, or the opponent doesn't know how to handle the pack, I guess. Back here, the healing enforcement. Field gun constantly moving up there. Laying down mines. Got spot there, but Heinous looks like one actually went off before. Very good. Support McCall there is ready, but it's not going up yet here for Guardian Astronaut. Not quite going up yet. Is he planning tier 4? I mean, that'd be pretty bold and audacious, but it is an option. It is an option. Consuls are going to do is constantly being pushed back. Engineers laying down mines here, and we got a bit of point there being scored as well. Consuls taking losses, engineers moving up. Field gunner hanging back, going for the point here, going for the point there, very good. Down here just standing about for him, and so I mean, you can hit the other points here, of course that'd be great, but he clearly wants to try and grab hold of the control center as well. And we got Support McCall there for Guardian Astronaut. He can actually pull for the Panzer IV right away. You could also just go for double offense if you wanted to, though I'm not necessarily advocate that. Back here, healing enforcement, going westwards there with the T-70 engineers. Not least on his advantage here, constantly holding up. Bit of a skirmish here. With a heavy cover, the country have the advantage. Again, good work there, mining and laying down sandbags. Good fortification works there by Heinous. By the way, Guards National is willing to back forward. I think is causing Heinous to be a bit more cautious with this T-70 than nothing is necessary. And there you go, Minsk was out here as he gets ready to try and push in there. Pony's out in the open though. Gonna take some damage. And there you go, no against the consequence. Oh, retreats, just in the nick of time. T-70 out as well to support. Provide vital firepower for the infantry, beleaguered by the fascists. There you go, Panzer IV here for Guardian Astronaut. Heinous, of course, will be aware thanks to the doctrine, but he's not going to have a lot of serious counters to it. He could find himself not forced to go for the Issue 6 to counter it, or at least another field gun to have a chance here. But there you go, big push into these Pack 40 Panzer IV. He definitely wants that T-70 as dead as possible. Of course, need to be careful does not extend the Panzer IV because there's also the potential here that Heinous is planning something and could bait in the Panzer IV and deal with it. I mean, the field gun is right there. We got mines as well, so he's clearly anticipating he's going to probably try and somehow bait the Panzer IV into the situation and then deal with it using the field gun. Still, nothing further sign of a further plan by Heinous. I mean, he could try and stall for the IS-2, that of course is going to involve a lot of risks. More armor up for Guardian Astronaut, which of course means in someone can preserve more resources because the tanks just need repairs. So as long as he doesn't lose the tank, he can just soak up more damage versus Heinous and vice versa. But of course have a good chance taking out the T-70. So, but there you go, mine hit, good work. That's going to put the Panzer IV there for a while, and with only one Pioneer, well, it's going to take a bit longer. You see, had he had two Pioneers. Still, I think Heinous needs to put more pressure on the flanks. I think focusing on the centre a bit more, which of course is where Guards and Astronaut is well dug in. So I mean, if you just move up the flanks, they might, I think, better chance they're forcing him to dispatch forces from the centre, at which point he can then rush that. Second field gun out. Double field guns tend to be an indicator. Well, double anti-tank guns in general, unless they're a very light one, because then you don't get access to it anyways, but tend to be an indicator that the chap's going to try and stall for the heavier tanks. So with double field guns out, certainly looks very likely that Heinous is just going to stall for the IS-2. Again, risky, but it can work out. It can work out if you've got the skills, and certainly top 100 player might be able to do it, but even then it's not something I'd recommend in a lot of situations. We shall see how it works out though. Another Panzer IV there for Guardian Astronaut is yet to choose a doctrine here. No, he's trying to figure out exactly what Heinous is up to before making his call. He's just not thinking about it. Assault continuing, we got flamethrower engineers, minesweepers, all that. Troops that are taking any damage. Panzer Line's got it, and the field gun takes a good hit on Panzer IV. T-70 on the west side, he pushing back the machine gun there. Going to be setting up the light machines to the west. They're just coming out the flank as well there. T-70 falling back. He's worried about the Pack 40 here. Almost got the machine gun here. He's shifting about. They're using the trees here basically to force the Pack 40 to have to shift about constantly. Now, in this case, he managed to have an angle where he can't easily cover up. Need to fall back with the T-70, but there you go. Slowly crumbling away at the defense. Pretty risky stuff. Field gun moving up. In fact, he's got both field guns there. Very bold push here from Heinous, very bold. Does suffer some casualties, but also get some good hits in there on Guardian Astronaut. But sadly, he doesn't get a wipe, and sadly doesn't quite, I think, extend the front line any further. So, ends up not quite being as effective as he could have. An attempted rifle gun here wipe down the retreating units. A bold move there. Back here, healing reinforcement. Definitely getting the impression that Heinous is now clearly aiming here for the IS-2. Also, at this stage, he probably could be posting out for T-34s. 76s, obviously, 85s can happen, but not quite as fast. Guards and Astronaut could also stand to put more pressure on the flanks, particularly the west flank. I think offers a good flanking path, move up here that way and then sneak up behind here. Could do a lot of damage and undermine Heinous' central defense. And these Panzers moving up and gets a full up in the counter squad. Quite a loss there for Heinous and the 7th Mechanized Corps. 3rd Panzer Division here, supported by the 1st Panzer Division, are doing quite well. Since a Panzer Division, in most circumstances, will not access to Panzer Force. That's a quick note there. Heinous here, going for the Special Rifle Command. He might be planning snipers in a peculiar move. And also doesn't delay his IS-2 by too much, but still I think he's going to try and, use a sniper here to try and bleed out Guards and Astronaut support weapons, particularly the machine guns. He probably wants to get out of the way. Though he could, just rush using a smoke screen or maybe something like that. But seems like he's got some other plan there. And Molotovs as well. And Molotovs. Figuring the land's got in the Panzer IV. correct hit on the T-70 by the Panzer IV. Machine gun grenadiers are taking heavy damage. Casualties piling up as they desperately try to fend off the Russians. Almost got one of the grenadiers. Almost. And a wipe there. That's the second grenadier squad Guards National has lost. And the East skirmishing, we got grenadiers with Panzer IV backing them up. Need to be careful here. Does not want to lose, I think, another Panzer squad to the Panzerkampfwagen. There we go. They bravely retreats.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Maxim gunning away. Still no doctoral choice here for Guards National. Still no choice. Panzer moving in. Pioneers away there for him as well. Ferguson going to flank the Panzer IV there. Good hit, good hit. Guter Schuss. More pioneers that repair his armor, very good, definitely needed that. And we got a big push up in the west here with conscript engineers. Heinous getting ever closer to the IS-2. Nothing out of the Special Rifle Command as of yet, though. Guards National pressuring the front once more. Panzer IV shattering a bit of stuff around here by the looks of it. No smokescreen here though from Guards National. Oh, there we go, now it's going down, but might be a bit late and the field guns probably going to be too late to deal with the Panzer IV, which is actually half health. Had he set it up correctly, he might actually have a chance of taking out Guards National's Panzerkampfwagen. Troops on watch back here. He could theoretically just try and take up for tier 4, but instead Guards National is going to push more Panzer IVs because that's going to work quite well. Of course, versus the IS-2, it's going to run some issues since the Panzer IVs aren't that great. Definitely need to flank the IS-2 to have a chance here. So, I mean, if he can't get it out, great for Heinous here versus the triple Panzer IVs, but until then he's going to suffer because the Panzer IVs can really put some pressure on him. It's been good versus infantry. And because Guard National is just trying to drive them down the centre, it's actually using them to control the field and manoeuvring them about, which makes them much more dangerous until the IS-2 hits. So there you go, third Panzer almost ready. Field gun bombarding the MD there, and there you go, third Panzer IV out. And as predicted, Heinous goes for the sniper. He's going to try and apply some bleed here to Guards National that way, bit risk in some ways. He's also not too far off command point wise from the IS-2, and so the sniper's actually going to delay the IS-2 by probably a few minutes. And we finally got a doctoral choice here from Guards National. It is Blitzkrieg. Mobilizing the full fury of the Wehrmacht, he strikes. Possibly like an iron fist, we'll see that. T-70 moves in, pings the rear of the Panzer IV. Might even be using it as bait to draw into the field guns line of fire. There you go, good hit. We've been able to get constant close enough to get off an anti-tank grenade. Might have a chance but there he goes. Going to try and flank behind, I think, and sort of cut off the Grenadiers' retreat path, maybe getting a Pioneers in this case. But Guards National realizes what's going on and just retreats. Very good decision there. Sniper hanging back. And in the far west, the Panzer IV strikes. Pushing back the conscripts with no mercy. Sniper hanging back here. Slowly creeping ahead. He's going to be our first prey here. And Jürgen stumbles. Lost in the undergrowth. There you go. Conscripts on taking up with the Panzer IV here. And a wipe. Bad news there for Heinous. And the 7th Mechanized Corps. Killers are on the loose. He is close to being dead, need to retreat them. He's clearly trying to stall and buy more time with the victory points. IS-2 is very close though. He's almost got the command points, and he's also manpower wise getting pretty close. Another big push in the east. Panzer IV Pioneers, Panzer and Maschinen Gewehr, all delivering an explosive combination that Heinous' single country squad cannot withstand. And on the west, he continues upwards as Scots National is clearly just backing off there. He's not going to try and fight here much. Probably, there's a lot of fuel guns usually hanging about here, so he's just going to press the flanks where that way he can cut off the fuel anyway. So I would say a good tactical sense there by Guards National. Very good tactical sense. The west going to be engaged with the T-70. There you go, panzer off. And they're going to just then swiftly fall back. But Heinous is very close to the IS-2 now. He's got the fuel, he's got the command points, and manpower-wise he is, well, roughly a minute and a half off. 3 kills for the sniper, not really getting a lot of value out of the sniper, which then of course begs the question why he didn't go for it. He was not going to play it a bit more aggressive than that, because at this stage, he really needs to just gain as much value, he just needs to wring it dry. Guards National there going for the Austrian flak panzer to back up his Panzer IVs. Clearly he's not too worried about armour, meaning he either isn't thinking about the IS-2 or feels like he can deal with it using his Panzer IVs and his pack. In this case with the Austrian is fucked up, cancels it, that goes for it again. He can't quite decide. And there you go, Heinous finally able to call in the IS-2, the Joseph Stalin 2 heavy tank. Delivering the wrath of Stalin upon the hits of the Hitlerites. And there we go. Moving ahead there. Note the little machine on the back of the turret as a feature of Soviet heavy tanks and Japanese tanks. I believe they're really the only tanks in World War II that had such a feature there. Little fun fact. It was meant to defend against infantry trying to creep up on the tank. Don't know how effective it actually was. Flak guns arriving there, of course. Heinous is quite aware of that. T-70 field guns moving up, IS-2 moving in. Sniper got killed already, pretty bad stuff there. And the West Country engaged with the Panzer IV machine gun as well. IS-2 rolling ahead, T-shot fired, bounced off. Prioritizing the pack forward, but there you go, air support called in here by Guards National to break up Heinous' assault. Very good work there. The Luftwaffe strikes with his Kanonenvogel infantry, support weapons are being blasted. Machine can try and work here with Dishka unleashing hell. Panzer IV going to flank in here, need to pull back the field guns as well. He's continuing ahead though, he's continuing ahead despite being separated from the armour. Bold manoeuvre there, meanwhile Guards National seized upon the opportunity to try and flank behind and actually cut off the assault. Very good counter manoeuvre here, but Guards National, absolutely excellent stuff. But there you go, mine on the flank, catching off at least one of the tanks and the assault. Meanwhile infantry moves ahead here, within taking heavy fire from the flak panzer and the Panzer IV. They can't keep the pace here, and there you go, T-70 down. Field guns being flanked, almost got the Panzer IV. IS-2 here dealing with the Panzer IV, pushing that one back. But the assault is completely turning around here. Guards National turned it around in an instant. And just seemingly just hit Heinous really, really hard. An amazing turnaround there. I mean, in some ways a strong attack, but Guards National just completely just reversed it. Good work there, good work. And the T-70's done as well. A terrible turn of events here for Heinous. Tom's about to get wiped out. I think there's too much going on. He's trying to keep up the pace here. IS-2 moving in. Shoots, misses the machine gun here, but still doing some damage. Field gun wiped out. Not good, not good. And the flak panzer goes down. And there you go, Panzer IV flanks up behind. Good use of the train here by Guards National. Takes hit from the IS-2. But with both field guns being destroyed there, there's a lot less to oppose the armour. Blitzing away, they're getting out of the reach of the IS-2 shot bounces. Grenadiers Pack 40 moving up to deal with this heavy Russian armour. And Panzer Assault, failed to penetrate. Pretty lucky there, second shot bounces off the IS-2, and there you go, half the Grenadier squad obliterated. Half tech for Heinous, probably help reinforce the stuff that close to the front line. And these points they're being secured. Back here, healing reinforcement going on, half track halfway done. Mines up, very good. Flak Panzer, ready. And there we go, wrecking the field guns, denying them to Heinous. Almost got the machine gun there with the IS-2 field gun annihilated. Crushed, shattered. There we go, half-tank moving up. He's probably going to try and use it to grab the field gun up close to the front line, then recruit immediately. Pack moving up, then going for the field gun, half-tank supporting, being repaired. We got the flak panzer moving up, field gun there ready to go. But there you go, field gun's turning into the infantry, trying to fix up the eyes too. Field gun almost down, half-tank taking him down to the pack 40 as well. He's turning into a mess here for Heinous, an absolute mess. Close, and there you go, half-tank goes down. I definitely like the idea, but in this case, I think it's just falling too fast apart here for Heinous against Guards and Astronaut. Mortar there being taken up by the flak panzer full combo. Another hit there. Eyes 2 finally goes down. The ammunition cooked off. The tank destroyed. And with this, Guards and Astronaut I think is more or less dominant here. A victory for the fatherland, a loss for the Red Army. A brutal fight right here in Minsk Pocket, with some heavy casualties on both sides, but in the end, Guard and Astronaut, I think, quite nicely persevered. Heinous, I think, had a very strong start, but I think he in some ways got too focused on the centre, not enough flanking and outmaneuvering Guards and Astronaut, and I think he should have gone for more mortars. Should have probably been more aggressive using them in different ways. Also losing that Maxim early on, I mean, it was a nice move they made, but in this case, got caught off guard there by Guards and Astronaut and quickly destroyed, and I think that really hurt Heinous. The Maxim, of course, just gave Guards and Astronaut more ways to close down Heinous' infantry. Of course, did not Heinous for doing the same to Guards and Astronaut, so that, I think, represented a loss. Also, he ended up playing his T-City, I think, more passive than they should have. So I think had he tried to push him up for the cover points here and there, he could have slowed down Guards and Astronaut resource income and sort of that way pulled ahead. But I think he got too defensive around here, and that I think further gave Guards and Astronaut an edge there. Plus, of course, Guards and Astronaut I think played really well, made some good flanks, good attacks, and of course, during that big assault over the eyes too, he just, you know, pushed grounded down there using the air support, and then he went for a flank there, pincer, who was essentially cutting off the attack and really doing some heavy damage. There's some really splendid play there by Guards and Astronaut, showing how he can play the Wehrmacht absolutely amazingly. So, hope you enjoyed this match, hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like it, share it, spread the word of the mighty Propagandacast to those who do not know. And of course, if you'd like to support, you can pledge on Patreon, donate yourself, links in the video description there. We can find that. Also, a big thanks to Potato Tater for upgrading his pledge and further supporting the mighty Propagandacast in its goal to spread the glory of Camping Heroes and, of course, me to the world. So, big thanks to you. This is Imperial signing off. See you all tomorrow for another China episode. You're all a wonderful audience and hope to see you all tomorrow again. Bye.